How do you account for the wild inconsistency that this team has had lately?
Um, it really comes down to executing each week and it seems like when we play well, we play pretty well, and we've been playing bad. We've played pretty bad. We've had a couple blowouts in both directions the last couple weeks, but we just want to be the same team every week. I think Coach Fancy does do a good job of being the same guy, every day, having the same attitude, and we just need to kind of take that approach as players and really just show up every week and perform to the best of our abilities. It really is like every guy, going in the huddle, they're 1/11th each play and just being like, what can I do to, make this play work? And on both sides of the ball, really. But we do need to find a way to be more consistent, and, it starts this week.
You guys were that team last year. What's different?
Um, it's hard because we're going through it. We pinpointed some things. Third and fourth down have been really bad on both sides of the ball, so we're trying to figure that out. Just little things like that where we're trying to be, again, more consistent. We looked at it this week and we're like, hey, we were not good enough on third and fourth down the last, pretty much all season. But that's something we're going to try and focus on this week and try and really improve.
You had different challenges last year. They were mostly these unique COVID challenges. Stefanski in his first year handled them great. These are new challenges to him. How's he handling this part of the season?
Yeah, I think he's handled it well. In the NFL, like, something's going to come up, every year. Last year we had a lot of COVID, like you said. But he's done a good job. Anytime, his door is always open. So if there's ever an issue on this team, like, you can contact him instantly, and he'll listen to you, he'll talk to you, and he'll tell you how he feels about it. But it's really an open door, and if someone has feelings, we go to him, and we'll try and straighten it out.
Joel, anytime we ask about any difficulty, execution seems to be the answer that everyone has. So I guess my question is, how do you guys fix the execution?
Yeah, we've really tried to focus on it in meetings, in practice. We've talked about having the best week of preparation, of practice, of focus all year. And like I kind of said, you focus on the little details because little details become big things. If you have if you run a bad route in practice or have a bad twist pass off in practice, you need to find time afterwards or something to redo it so that correction is in your head. You're really just focusing on those little things, and each player has things, because even though the score is 45-7, like, not every play, every guy's getting destroyed. A lot of times it's, one guy in each play or two guys on each play, and those things add up. So if everybody can focus on those little things, you can turn that into a little bit better execution.
So it seems like, it seems like you really kind of got rolling after Thanksgiving last year. When you kind of look at it with that kind of mark coming up in the season, do you guys still believe like everything you want to do is in front of you?
I think it is. If you look at, the number one goal of pretty much every team is win their division, and we're within striking distance. We're not where we want to be, but we have everything left. You have 17-game season, so you got 7 games left, and it's one of those things where there's a lot less room for error now, but we're good. We're going to take it one week at a time. We got the Detroit Lions, who, played really well against Pittsburgh last week, and we know they're going to come in here and try and get their first win. So it's a big test for us to really bounce back.
Joel, I guess, how's the morale been these last few days? Have you felt like there's a danger of that loss on Sunday lingering, or do you think you guys have moved on pretty well?
I think you have to move on. I think we've moved on. We've been focused on, like I said, the best week of preparation we can have all year. And as a professional, there's a level of pride that you take each week going into every game, and you learn from it on Monday, but then by Wednesday you have to have the things you want to get better at, and you have to focus on the week of practice, or the season can really catch up to you.
One of the positives was Dearness. Does he keep showing you something? Like, I know you guys like him, but what has he showed you, with his continued effort?
Oh, he's been great. The guy just works hard. He fits in that running back room. The running back room's, unbelievable guys and people and great players. But if you watch the game, he had that first good drive and it was a little lull for him. But, that's how you want to finish games. He was running hard. He was catching passes. He, finished on the sideline late in the fourth quarter where he could have easily stepped out of bounds. But he's like, no, I'm gonna show, I can finish this game. And that's all you want, man. I think he has the potential. He's showing people that he can play running back in this league, and that's huge for him.
Joe, I know you talk about Baker's toughness all the time. But yesterday he said it's the most beat up he's ever been. Have you seen just kind of the injuries take a toll on him? Whether it's just maybe his personality, kind of beat him down a bit.
When it gets to game day, he seems like he's the same guy to me. But I know I've played through a few injuries in my career, and it's one of those things where like it's another added element to your game. So like no matter how much you want to put on the back burner, there's some focus on it. You're preparing yourself, extra time in the training room, extra time away from. If you have extra film study, like you're spending it getting your body right, and then when you get in the game, like you have to get to a point where it's like, all right, I can play through this. But sometimes there's plays where you feel it. So obviously he's going to feel it. Obviously it's going to be something that he's had to deal with, and I know he's working as hard as he can to try and get back to 100%. But it's something that when you're banged up like that, there's definitely some feelings from it.
How much have you guys had to alter the scheme? Because, when Baker's been at his best, it's play action, roll out, getting on the move. I don't know how much he can do that with the knee and the foot now.
Yeah, we eliminated all our quarterback draws and stuff like that we had in the no we don't no he I think it's really a week to week thing. We're pretty versatile in some of the stuff we can do, but as far as I know, they haven't told us that we're changing anything the way we call things.
Winless Detroit Lions, you played on that kind of season. What precautions do you have to take to not take them for granted?
Oh, it's NFL. Like you look at their roster and like the guys that are playing, like at least across the D line, you know what I mean? You got like year 9, year 10, year 11 vets that like are experienced, good players in this league, and especially this team, like they play as hard as anybody. But I think you tell the young guys like records don't mean anything. Like it's not like you're at Alabama, you just walk in and beat a team. You know what I mean? Like records don't mean anything. Like you come out and you have to perform. I think we've seen it this year. There's teams that have beat the Rams a couple weeks ago. You just have these games where it's like, oh, this team should win, and it's NFL, so anything can happen.
Does the fact they tied Pittsburgh help your younger guys get their attention, or are you guys past that, or even?
I think that's a person-to-person thing, but Coach Stefanski has already, talked with us and had us focused on what this team does well and some of the things. Like if you look at their halftime scores and some of the things they've done, they've been in a lot of the games, this year, and so we know they're a good challenge for us, and we know we have to bring our best game to win this game.
When you're making corrections out there, obviously you can see something and fix it right away. But in regards to like penalties in the game, when that happens, if something like that happens in practice, how do you guys address that? How do you, if you're not practicing mistakes, how do you go about correcting those issues throughout the week of practice?
Yeah, we a few weeks ago we starting the period over. We have a penalty in practice, so you got a penalty on the third play, you go back to the first play and try and do it right. So we're really trying to focus, like I said, on the details and just get things right. Because those are things you can control. Not everything happens, but I know we've been one of the worst penalized teams in the league, and that's not something we want to be.
You guys still doing that?
Yeah.
So that 3 weeks ago or whatever, and that's been every practice since then?
Yep.
So you would have signed up for 5-5 a few years ago. Is there still an element to this team learning how to handle success and learning how to play with higher standards?
I think we set the standard last year of what we want to be, and so I don't think there's a learning curve in that sense. I think we just have to play better, honestly. I don't think there's, at least I hope, like guys aren't listening to outside noise on things and stuff like that. You're focused on a week-to-week basis, and that's what Coach Stefanski's really stressed to us. But we want the standard to be a playoff team. We want to win our division. We want to be competing for those things every year, and we haven't performed like that this year. But there's a lot of season left, so we're going to focus on that, and hopefully by the end of the year, it's back to our standard.
Joel, you guys are obviously really good in the run game and blocking out front. I wanted to ask you about the sacks. I think since week 2 when Baker initially suffered the injury, you guys have given up over 20 sacks since then. I'm just kind of curious, what have you seen on a lot of those plays? Is it an upfront thing, or is it just the way plays end up developing?
I think it's a mix. Obviously we're not happy with our sack numbers. They're a lot higher than we want them to be. But it's a mix. There's sometimes where guys get beat and give up a sack. There's sometimes where, it's a scheme thing where they have 6 guys rushing and we have 5 guys blocking, and the ball doesn't get out. But it's a group effort, and that's something we've it's part of our 3rd down and 4th down plan this week. We've given up too many sacks on 3rd down and 4th down, and that's something we're trying to focus on. Make sure we're in the right scheme. Make sure guys are winning their one-on-ones, and that's really what it comes down to.
One more quick thing on Dearness. How was he when he had that fumble? Was he distraught?
Oh, he wasn't distraught. He was upset with himself. I think every running back is. He was like, oh man, if I would have made a miss, we had a shot to take that screen. But I think he's just focused on the next play, and that's one of the special things about him is he learned from it, and I wouldn't guess that he's going to let that happen again. But he's a great guy. He was a little distraught from it, but he came back and obviously finished the game strong.